And if we move round to the back of the car there, again, the beautiful clean lines that you've managed to enhance further by once again taking out. Again, there's a join here.
Traditionally, you'd have a join there between outer and rear panel. You'd have then another join here at the quarter section and the centre panel. You would originally have had a reversing lamp here, which is an indicator that you're going backwards, but doesn't actually offer the driver any visibility in the dark behind it. So we've actually taken all of those out. We've removed all of the badging, just because it's a very, very pretty shape. And it seemed, in many ways, because we started with a blank canvas, the nicest way to start is with just beautiful, clean shape, and don't destroy it by adding too much.
It does say, from what we've discussed earlier, it seems you're trying to achieve a sort of less is more sort of approach to it, and sort of pick up, you say, just on the finesse. I think the word you used earlier on was elegant, and I think looking at how things are shaping up, I completely understand what you mean by elegant. So
it's a very, very pretty car. The shape, the design of it itself. It harks back, I think, to sort of a more of a 50s feel, as opposed to the later generation of these cars in the 70s, where they had lots of bolt-on badges and stripes and various other things. It's just a very clean, simple, elegant car, which just portrays a beautiful shape, beautiful image. But with an LE50, it gives you all the benefits of a modern car, from power steering to climate control to huge performance, but wonderful cruising. Very quiet cabins, heated seats, heated screens, xenon headlights. So it's a genuinely usable everyday car, even if you're used to driving a modern day Porsche or a Bentley or a BMW or an Audi. You wouldn't feel out of place driving an LE50 in terms of creature comforts. But what you would notice is you get treated as a classic car owner, and it's a very different experience.
Absolutely. So 50 years on from the launch of the MGB, I suppose it really is the ultimate evolution. In terms of it's using what's understood about the MGB, along with what's best in terms of techniques and materials with the paints, and knowing how to look after bodywork much better than they would have done 50 years ago. It is a superb evolution.
It is, and we've been producing and enhancing suspension componentry and brake systems and transmissions for the MGB for just over 20 years now. And we've taken everything we've learned from that period and combined it together, re-engineered everything for the powertrain that this is running. So suspension geometries change because of different weight transfers, different weight balances because the engine is 120 kilos lighter. But things like the de-seaming on the tops. In the last production of cars, when MG decided to shut the doors, there were about 30 or 40 shells still in the factory. And those were actually given to one of their specialist companies and asked to convert them to V8s and to sell them off to try and recoup some of the money. And the first thing that they did before they were painted was weld in all the sill tops, because they knew that it was a common rust trap. But MG didn't have the facility at the time, because they were struggling to keep the MGB going, to actually do it. Right. So just at the end of the run, the last 40 cars that were produced were very, very similar. Admittedly, they weren't done quite as nicely because they didn't obviously have the time allocated to spend to do that.
Sure.
But the theory and the ethos of removing the rust traps, making them stiffer, making them stronger, was there with the MGB at the end of its life.
Fantastic. Now, from where the car is now, and I'm just going to sort of stand back a bit just so people can sort of again see the shell in all its glory. From this point, Ed, in terms of the car being at the stage where it's ready to be driven, perhaps, how long are we looking at now in terms of, we're now in mid-September. What's your ETA on it?
We'll have this car finished and built by the beginning of November. Lead time for building a car is about 6 weeks. This is the first one, so we're taking everything a little bit slower in terms of just learning how everything fits and everything goes together on the first car. The production schedule is already set, so we know what we're doing, but we're assessing everything just to make sure we're doing the best job possibly as we go through.
Okay. And the research and development, which we discussed already, it's a phenomenal amount of time to get to the point where you're confident enough to put the shell in paint. because you've trial fitted the drivetrain and the suspension components, and just made sure that what you're doing, puts you on course for the schedule for the official launch of the car.
It does.
Which are we allowed to say sort of where and when that will be? Is that?
I think that might be up to you.
The official launch will be at the NEC Classic Motor Show at Birmingham in November. The car will be unveiled on the Classics Monthly stand, I'm very proud to say.
So we're very proud to be associated with it. So it's all guns are blazing till November.